The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rock and roll has been hit hard with the recent passing of musicians Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington. In our series, The United States of Addiction, we're looking at the harsh reality of drug addictions and its sometimes fatal consequences. Today, we're going to get some insights from our next guest who lived the hard-rocking life and lived to tell his story.
Nikki Sixx is best known as an international rock icon, most notably being a founding member of Motley Crue. But Nikki's rock and roll rise to the top didn't come without paying a price. Indulging himself with an excess of sex, alcohol, and drugs led to his long-fought battle with deep addiction. Nikki has spoken candidly about his struggles with heavy heroin use and how it nearly cost him his life. Through it all, Nikki Sixx has risen above his demons and, along with his illustrious music career, has become a 3-time New York Times best-selling author, philanthropist, and photographer.
Please welcome Nikki Sixx to the show.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hi, bud.
Nikki, good to have you.
What's going on?
A pleasure.
Yeah, this
Rock and roll.
Thanks for having me on here.
I'm curious if we hear this term rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah.
You've been there. You've done that.
Yeah.
Does the lifestyle encourage, enable drug abuse, overuse? Is it just so much part of the culture that it's hard to be in it and not abuse?
I mean, yes and no. So it depends on the artist, and also I think that, like when Whitney Houston passed away, I think it was a good time to look at enablers. You know, so there's a lot of people around the artist. There's managers, there's agents, there's road managers, there's crew, there's family members. So when you see a person, you know, heading towards that addiction, a lot of people don't want to stop the money train. And that's where you hear about a lot of the tragedies in rock and roll and jazz and other kinds of music as well. I mean, I'm really happy to be a survivor of heroin addiction and alcoholism, and be a father and be able to be here today and talk to you guys and talk about it.
I'm impressed. I was talking to you even before the segment that you got it going on. You got it together.
Thank you.
Tell us, you had a really serious overdose at one point.
Yeah.
Was that the rock bottom for you, or did you relapse after that?
Okay, so I was an addict, a heroin addict, for exactly 1 year. And you know, my heart stopped for 2 minutes, and I came back, I went home, and I shot up again and overdosed again. I woke up the next day, and I kind of had like a spiritual awakening. That's the only reason the only way I can explain it, because I woke up and it was the first time I didn't want to do drugs. And
was it out of fear because you came that close to?
Yeah, it just changed my perspective, and it was at that time I said, you know, I want to turn my life around and do something good with this horrible information.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So then you wrote the Heroin Diaries about that year on tour with Motley Crue, the Girls year, correct?
Yeah.
And I guess one thing I'm just curious about is, do you think you would have become addicted if you weren't famous?
I don't know. You know, I have an addictive personality, so like I love guitars. So there's a guitar in every room. I love doing I love doing photography. So now I have a photography exhibit right now because I throw myself into things. So I did that with drugs as well. Addiction doesn't just look at musicians. It looks at doctors and lawyers and you know, housewives, and you know, the list goes on and on. It touches every part of our society.